Welcome to our deep dive all about insurance agents.
Yeah, some real behind-the-scenes stuff.
We've got some great insights from interview prep.
Specifically, their article, 30 Insurance Agent Interview Questions and Answers.
We'll link that in the show notes.
It's not just about what agents know.
Right.
It's about what makes a truly great agent.
Which is valuable even if you're not trying to become one.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you just want to be a smarter consumer when you're dealing with an insurance agent, this is the deep dive for you.
It's like a secret decoder ring for this whole industry.
So first off, this source makes it clear that a good insurance agent isn't just a walking encyclopedia of policies.
Yeah, you don't just want somebody who can rattle off the definitions.
Right.
It goes way deeper than that.
They need to understand.
It's more like
Yeah.
they're like a financial advisor
Okay.
who specializes in protecting the things that you care about most.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and the article really gets into this with question number 3. Describe your process for assessing a client's insurance needs.
Right.
And the sample answer is like gold,
Okay.
even if you never plan to be an agent.
Now, you might be wondering, why do I care about an agent's process?
Well, because it reveals what questions they should be asking you.
Okay.
A good agent doesn't lead with a sales pitch.
Right.
They lead with trying to understand your whole financial picture.
So it's like before we even get into what kind of insurance I need, you're trying to understand my income, my assets,
Exactly.
my goals,
Yep.
risk tolerance.
Yeah, all that stuff.
So I shouldn't be afraid to share those details.
No.
I always thought it was more about well, how much coverage do you want?
Yeah, this is where the deep dive gets really interesting
Yeah.
because it turns the tables a little bit.
Okay.
Knowing what a good agent does can help you spot a bad one,
Oh, okay.
or at least one who isn't thorough enough for what you need.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into specifics.
Sure.
The article lists the steps like gathering information, analyzing risk, recommending products.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty standard.
but it's the nuances that matter.
Okay.
For example, the source really emphasizes open communication.
Okay.
Like the agent should be explaining things in a way that you understand,
Right.
not bombarding you with a bunch of jargon.
Which leads perfectly into our next big hurdle.
Yeah.
All that confusing insurance terminology.
Oh, it's notorious.
Policies are so dense.
Right. A good agent is like a translator. They
Okay.
make it crystal clear what you're actually getting.
Okay, so question number 4 tackles the classic example.
Yeah.
The difference between term and whole life insurance.
Term versus whole life, everybody wants to know.
You might already know this, but
Yeah.
it's a great test of an agent's ability to explain things simply.
Absolutely. And the sample answer breaks it down like this.
Okay.
Term life is like renting coverage for a set amount of time.
Okay.
You pay a lower premium because it only pays out if you die within that time frame.
So it's more affordable but temporary.
Exactly.
So it's good for maybe covering a mortgage until it's paid off.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Okay. Whereas whole life is more like owning the coverage.
Okay.
Lasts your whole life as long as you pay those premiums.
Right.
And it builds cash value over time.
Oh, so that's why it's more expensive.
Right.
It's like insurance plus a savings account all rolled into one.
Yeah. The key takeaway here, though, is that a good agent doesn't just tell you these definitions.
Okay.
They help you figure out which one actually fits your life
Right, based on my goals and my budget.
based on your goals and your budget. Exactly.
Okay.
Not everybody needs whole life.
Right.
Not everybody needs term.
Okay, now let's talk about something that makes a lot of people squirm.
Oh, yeah.
Dealing with a hesitant client.
The dreaded hesitant client.
Because nobody likes feeling pressured into buying insurance.
Nobody likes to be sold.
Right.
But the article handles this really well.
Okay.
With question number 5. It asks how an agent handles someone who's reluctant to buy or increase coverage.
Yeah.
And the answer is not about slick sales tricks.
Okay.
It's about building trust.
So what does that actually look like in practice?
So first, empathy.
Yeah.
The agent should genuinely listen to your concerns and figure out why you're hesitant.
Okay.
Maybe you've had a bad experience in the past.
Right.
Maybe you don't fully understand the product.
Right. Or maybe it's just not a financial priority right now.
Or maybe you're just totally risk averse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's more about uncovering the root of the problem
Yeah.
than just pushing a solution.
Okay, so then how would they explain the policy in a way that makes sense to me?
Well, instead of overwhelming you with technical details,
Right.
they should use real-life examples
Okay.
to show the value.
Okay.
What if this happens? Here's how this policy will protect you.
Right. So make it more tangible, less abstract.
Less abstract, more concrete.
Okay.
And lastly, they emphasize that insurance isn't one size fits all. Like they should be tailoring the explanation to your specific needs.
Okay.
So you don't feel like you're being sold some generic package.
This is making me realize that a lot of my past interactions with insurance agents have been pretty impersonal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is common.
Yeah.
But that's why this deep dive is so valuable.
Right.
It's giving you that framework to see the difference between a salesperson and a true advisor.
Okay. Now let's get into something that might seem less relevant to the average person.
Okay.
An agent's sales strategy.
Yeah, how they get clients.
You might think, well, I'm not the one selling, so why should I care?
But understanding how W agents find clients and grow their business can reveal potential biases or tactics that might not be in your best interest.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Okay, question 6 in the article dives into lead generation strategies.
Okay.
The sample answer mentions things like networking, community involvement, referrals.
Yeah.
All pretty standard stuff.
So it's not that these are bad things in themselves.
No, not inherently.
But how they're applied.
Right, but if an agent is too focused on, like, hitting sales targets, they might prioritize their own goals over truly understanding your needs.
Okay, so it's like, are they building genuine relationships?
Yeah.
Or just collecting names?
Are they collecting names or are they building relationships?
Exactly. So like a doctor who cares about your health.
Right.
Versus a doctor who's rushing you through.
Versus one who's just trying to, like, churn and burn.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And this knowledge helps you ask better questions when you're actually choosing an agent.
Okay.
Like, how do you typically find clients?
Right.
That answer can tell you a lot about their approach.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's talk about something that seems purely technical.
Okay.
CRM software.
CRM.
Question 7 asks about the agent's experience with CRM.
Yeah.
And you might think, what does that have to do with me?
Why do I care if they can use a computer?
Right. But trust me, it matters.
It matters.
Okay, convince me.
A well-organized agent who can use CRM effectively is more likely to remember important details about you, follow up on time, and provide that personalized service.
So it's not just about being tech-savvy. It's about how that tech translates into a better experience for the client.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Would you rather have a doctor who scribbles your notes on a napkin?
No.
Or one who has a secure system to track your medical history?
Okay, point taken.
Right.
Now, before we move on, let's talk about something that might be new to some listeners.
Okay, what's that?
Umbrella policies.
Umbrella policies.
Question 8 is the perfect springboard to explain this often overlooked type of coverage.
What is an umbrella policy?
I'll admit, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually does.
Yeah.
Is it like insurance for your insurance?
It is kind of like insurance for your insurance. Yeah. It's an extra layer of liability protection that goes above and beyond your basic policies like home or auto.
So give me a real-life example so I can wrap my head around it.
Okay, so imagine you're hosting a big party at your house.
Okay.
And somebody gets injured.
Okay.
Or let's say you have a teenage driver.
Okay.
Who causes a serious accident.
Mm-hmm.
If the damages exceed the limits of your regular insurance, that's where the umbrella policy kicks in.
So it's like a backup plan for when things go really wrong.
It's a backup plan.
But do I really need that much coverage? I'm not exactly a millionaire.
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
It's not just for the wealthy. It's for anyone who wants to minimize their financial risk in case of a lawsuit.
Okay.
And honestly, it's way more affordable than you think.
This is making me wonder if I should look into that.
Yeah, you should talk to your agent.
Okay, let's shift gears to a less pleasant but equally important topic.
Oh, boy.
What happens when you need to file a claim and the news isn't good?
The dreaded claim denial.
Right.
Nobody's favorite conversation.
But it's a reality.
It's the reality of the insurance world.
Question 14 in the article explores how a good agent handles this delicate situation.
So it's not just about delivering bad news. It's about how you do it.
Exactly. So it's not just about ripping off the Band-Aid and saying, sorry, your claim's denied.
No, you got to be a little more tactful.
Okay, so what does that look like?
A skilled agent approaches this with empathy and clarity.
Okay.
They should thoroughly understand the reasons for the denial.
Okay.
And they explain it to you in plain language, referencing the specific terms of your policy.
So no hiding behind jargon, vague excuses.
Be upfront, be honest.
Right.
And importantly, they remain patient and attentive, answering all of your questions.
Okay.
Even if you're frustrated or upset, they might even offer alternative solutions or resources to help you mitigate the impact.
It's like they're in your corner, even when you're facing a setback.
They're on your team.
Right. That's reassuring.
It should be reassuring. And that's a key difference between a transactional agent and one who sees themselves as your advocate.
All right, this has been eye-opening so far. But before we wrap up part one, let's step back and think about what we've learned about the qualities of a truly good insurance agent.
Big picture time.
Yeah, because ultimately this whole deep dive isn't just about understanding the insurance industry.
It's about you.
Yeah.
It's about you, the consumer.
It's about giving me the tools.
Giving you the tools.
To choose the right agent.
To choose the right agent for your needs.
For my needs.
Yes.
So we've talked about what a good agent does.
Right, the actions they take.
But what about who they are?
The qualities.
What qualities should we be looking for?
That's where question 30 in the article comes in.
Okay.
It asks about the most important qualities an insurance agent should possess.
Okay.
And the answer might surprise you.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
It boils down to two things.
Okay.
Communication and empathy.
Communication makes sense.
Right.
We've already talked about how confusing all that insurance jargon can be.
Right, but it goes beyond just explaining things clearly.
Okay.
A good communicator is also a good listener.
Right.
They take the time to really understand your concerns.
Okay.
Ask clarifying questions.
Right.
Make sure you're not just nodding along, but you're actually grasping the concepts.
So it's like a two-way street.
It's a dialogue.
Not just them talking AT me.
Not a lecture.
Yeah.
It's a back and forth.
Right.
And that builds trust.
Yeah.
Which is essential when you're dealing with something as important as financial protection.
Okay, empathy.
Empathy.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't usually think of insurance as being an emotional field.
Right. It seems very like transactional,
right?
Black and white.
Yeah.
But think about it.
Okay.
Insurance often comes into play during difficult times.
Well, that's true.
Accidents, illnesses, property damage.
Loss of a loved one, even.
The loss of a loved one.
Yeah, you're right. Those are stressful situations.
Yeah. Very stressful.
Where you need more than just a policy.
You need a human.
Yeah, you need somebody who understands what you're going through.
You need support.
Right.
And a good agent recognizes that. They connect with you on a human level.
Okay.
They show genuine concern. They make you feel like you're not just a number.
Right. It's like the difference between a doctor who just treats your symptoms versus one who takes the time to get to know you as a person.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And the article even highlights that empathy leads to greater customer satisfaction.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about being a good person, it's good business sense as well.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we actually UEC this knowledge?
How do we put it into practice?
Yeah, when we're choosing an insurance agent.
So think of it as a checklist.
Okay.
When you're interviewing agents, pay attention to how they communicate.
Okay.
Do they listen attentively? Do they answer your questions patiently, even if you feel like you're asking the same thing over and over again?
Okay, and beyond just the words.
Yeah.
What about their demeanor?
Body language.
Yeah. Do they seem genuinely interested in helping me or just focused on closing a deal?
Are they looking at their watch?
Yeah.
Are they like trying to
Yeah. Are they rushing me?
Rush you out the door?
Yeah.
That's where the empathy comes in.
Okay.
You can usually tell if someone is truly connecting with you
Right.
or just putting on a show.
Okay, this is really shifting my perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding the cheapest policy anymore.
Right.
It's about finding an agent who I trust.
It's about the relationship.
And feel comfortable with.
Absolutely. And remember, you're in control.
Right.
Don't be afraid to interview multiple agents
Right.
before making a decision.
Okay, so we got our checklist.
Checklist.
Communication, empathy, and a gut feeling of trust.
Gut feeling, very important.
What else should we keep in mind?
Well, let's go back to question 5.
Okay.
About handling a hesitant client.
Right.
It's a perfect example of how these qualities play out in real-life scenarios.
Okay.
So imagine you're hesitant about a particular type of insurance.
Okay.
Maybe you don't fully understand it.
Right.
Maybe you're worried about the cost.
Right.
What would a good agent do?
Yeah.
First, they wouldn't dismiss your concerns.
Okay.
Try to pressure you.
Right.
They would acknowledge your hesitation.
Okay.
And really listen to your reasons.
Not just brush it off with a, don't worry, it's a great policy.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So,
they would dig deeper. Ask clarifying questions.
Okay.
Make sure they fully understand your perspective.
and then how would they explain the policy in a way that makes sense to me?
Instead of overwhelming you with technical jargon,
Right.
they would use relatable examples.
Okay.
Real-life scenarios.
Okay.
They would paint a picture of how this insurance could protect you in specific situations that are relevant to your life.
So it's not just about the what. It's about the WHY.
The WHY.
Why this policy matters to me agents
Exactly.
in my circumstances.
In your unique circumstances.
Okay.
And they would emphasize that it's not one size fits all.
Right.
They would explore different coverage options, deductibles, payment plans.
Okay.
To find a solution that fits your budget and your individual needs.
It sounds like they're almost acting as a financial advisor.
In a way they are.
Yeah, helping me make the best decisions for my overall financial well-being.
That's the ideal, yes.
Now let's shift gears to a different scenario.
Okay.
Dealing with a claim.
Oh.
This can be a stressful experience.
Very stressful.
Especially if there are complications, or worst case, your claim gets denied.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to deal with that. But it's good to be prepared.
Better to be prepared.
What does the article say about how an effective agent handles this?
Question 14 is all about delivering bad news about a claim. And again, it comes down to empathy and clear communication.
So it's not just about, sorry, your claim's denied.
Denied. Next.
Act that later.
Yeah. No, it's about being upfront and honest, but also sensitive to the fact that this might be a difficult time for you.
Right. Like you're already dealing with whatever caused the claim.
Right. You've had a car accident. Your house is flooded.
Yeah.
You know you've lost a loved one.
Right.
You're not in a good place.
No.
So what would that look like in practice?
Okay.
First, they would prepare themselves thoroughly.
Okay.
They would understand the exact reasons for the denial.
Okay.
They would review your policy details. Maybe even consult with their team.
Okay.
To explore all possible options.
So they're not just winging it?
They're not just like, oh, yeah, denied.
Right.
No, they've done their homework.
Right.
And when they communicate the decision, they would choose an appropriate setting, ideally in person, or over the phone, where they can have a more personal conversation.
That makes sense. It shows that they're taking it seriously.
Taking it seriously.
Not just firing off a quick email.
Not an email.
Yeah.
And they would start by acknowledging your situation, expressing empathy for any hardship you might be facing. They would explain the reasons for the denial clearly. Referencing specific policy terms to avoid any confusion.
So no hiding behind vague language?
No hiding.
Or technical jargon?
Be upfront and honest.
Right. And most importantly,
they
would be patient and attentive.
Patient and attentive.
They would answer all your questions, even if you're frustrated or emotional.
Exactly.
It's like they're still on your side even when the news isn't good.
Still on your side.
Right.
They're not just there to collect premiums. They're there to support you throughout your insurance journey.
Right.
The good times and the bad.
That makes me feel a lot better about the whole claims process. Now let's talk about something that might seem less obvious.
Okay.
An agent's organizational skills.
Staying organized.
Does that really matter to me as a client?
It matters more than you might think.
Okay.
Question 15 in the article asks agents about their methods for staying organized and managing their tasks. And it's a crucial part of providing good service.
I can see how it would be important for them.
Right.
But how does it benefit me?
Okay, so imagine an agent who's juggling dozens, maybe even hundreds of clients without a good system in place.
Yeah.
Things can easily slip through the cracks.
Okay, like what?
Like forgetting to follow up on your questions, missing a deadline for your policy renewal.
Oh, that would be bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But a well-organized agent uses tools like CRM software to keep track of all client information policy details, important dates. They set reminders, they're proactive, and they're readily available when you need them.
So it's less about being a tech whiz.
It's not about being like a coder.
Right.
It's about
using technology.
It's about using technology.
To provide better service.
To provide better service, exactly.
Would you rather have a doctor who scribbles your notes on a napkin?
On a napkin.
Or one who has a secure, organized system?
Organized system to track your medical history and treatment plan.
Right. Okay, point taken.
Organization is key.
Organization is key. Now, the world is becoming increasingly digital.
The digital world.
How has that impacted the way insurance agents do business?
It's changed everything.
Question 25 in the article asks about the agent's experience with selling policies online or over the phone.
So not just face-to-face meetings anymore.
Right. So it's not just face-to-face meetings anymore.
No.
So a good agent today needs to be comfortable in both the traditional and the digital world.
Both worlds.
They can build rapport over the phone.
Over the phone.
Guide you through policy options online.
Yeah.
Answer your questions through email.
Email, text.
Just as effectively as they would in person.
In person.
So whether I prefer to meet in their office, chat over video call, or just handle everything electronically.
Right.
They can adapt to my needs.
They can adapt.
Okay, that's really helpful.
Good.
Now let's get specific about a type of insurance product that I've always found a bit confusing.
Okay, what's that?
Annuities.
Annuities, everybody's favorite.
I'll admit I've heard the term,
Yeah.
but I'm not really sure what an annuity actually does.
Yeah, what is an annuity?
Question 27 is a perfect opportunity to break down this complex financial instrument
Okay.
and explain why someone might consider purchasing one.
Why would you buy an annuity?
So, in simple terms,
Simple terms.
what is an annuity?
An annuity is a contract with an insurance company
Okay.
where you make either a lump sum payment
Okay.
or a series of payments.
Okay.
And in return, they provide you with a steady stream of income,
Okay.
typically during retirement,
So it's like creating your own personal pension.
like your own personal pension.
Yeah.
It can provide financial security and peace of mind,
Okay.
knowing that you have a guaranteed income stream
Okay.
for a specified period or even for life.
But why would someone choose an annuity over, say, just investing their money in the stock market?
Well, the article highlights a few key reasons.
Okay.
One is to secure a reliable source of income during retirement,
Okay.
especially as people are living longer
Right.
and need to make their savings last.
So it takes away some of the uncertainty of relying solely on investments.
Exactly.
Right.
Another reason is to manage longevity risk,
Longevity risk.
the risk of outliving your assets.
Oh, okay.
Annuities can alleviate that worry by providing lifetime income,
So it's like a safety net for your retirement.
a safety net.
Okay.
And for those seeking tax advantages,
Okay.
certain types of annuities offer tax-deferred growth,
Okay.
meaning your investment can grow
Mm,
without immediate tax implications.
that sounds appealing.
It can be appealing.
But I imagine there are downsides too,
yeah.
right?
Of course, annuities aren't for everyone.
Right.
There are fees to consider,
Okay.
investment options to understand, payout structures to evaluate.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
No, it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
You really need to do your research and figure out if it's right for you.
And that's where a good insurance agent can be invaluable.
Absolutely.
They can guide you through the complexities,
Yep.
help you weigh the pros and cons,
The pros and cons
and determine if an annuity aligns with your financial goals
and your risk tolerance.
and my risk tolerance.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to get a clearer picture of how annuities work.
Good.
Now let's talk about a group of people who often face unique challenges
Okay.
when it comes to insurance.
Who's that?
High-risk clients.
High-risk clients.
Question 28 in the article specifically addresses this.
Okay.
It asks agents about their experience working with individuals who might face higher premiums
Right.
or limited coverage options due to factors like their driving history, health conditions,
Health conditions
or even their property location.
where you live can be a big factor.
So it's not as simple as just plugging some information into a website and getting a quote.
No, not always.
Right.
These cases require a more specialized approach,
Okay.
one that involves a deep understanding of risk assessment
Oh,
and a knowledge of specific insurance products
okay.
designed for high-risk individuals.
What would a good agent do differently when working with a high-risk client?
So they would start by gathering detailed information about the client's situation.
Okay.
What are the specific risk factors?
Okay.
What are their coverage needs?
Okay.
What challenges have they faced in the past
Mhm.
when trying to secure insurance?
So it's about really getting to know the client and understanding their unique circumstances.
Really understanding their circumstances.
Okay.
Then they would leverage their knowledge and network
Okay.
to identify insurance companies that specialize in providing coverage
Yeah.
for high-risk individuals.
So it's not just about going with the big name companies that everyone knows.
Not necessarily.
Are we?
There are specialized insurers out there
Yeah.
who are more willing to take on higher-risk clients,
Okay.
but they might not be as widely known.
And what about communication? Is it especially important in these cases?
Communication is always key,
Right.
but especially in these cases.
Okay.
A good agent would be upfront and honest
Okay.
throughout the process.
Okay.
They would explain the options available, the
Mhm.
potential costs involved,
Mhm.
and any limitations or restrictions that
Yeah.
might apply.
So no sugarcoating or making promises they can't keep?
No false promises.
Right.
It's about building trust
Okay.
and transparency,
Right.
even when the situation is complex.
Okay, I'm really seeing the value of a skilled agent in these situations.
It can make all the difference.
Now let's talk about something that might seem more about the agent's career
Okay.
than my needs as a client.
Okay.
Networking. Question 29 in the article Asks about the role of networking in an insurance agent's professional journey.
It's huge.
Okay. I'm skeptical, but I'm willing to hear you out.
Okay.
How does an agent's networking benefit me?
A successful insurance agent isn't just sitting in their office waiting for the phone to ring.
Right.
They're actively engaging with their community.
Okay.
Attending industry events, joining local business organizations,
Okay.
building relationships with other professionals.
It's like they're constantly learning
Yeah.
and expanding their network.
Always learning.
Okay.
Always growing.
And that benefits me in a few ways.
It does.
First, it helps them stay up to date on the latest insurance products and trends.
Exactly.
So they're not stuck in the past,
Not stuck in the past.
offering me outdated solutions.
Right.
Okay, second, networking gives them access to a wider range of resources and expertise.
Resources and expertise.
If they encounter a complex case,
right,
they can tap into their network to find solutions.
Yeah.
Or get advice from specialists.
They have a whole team behind them,
Right.
A whole network.
So it's like they're part of a brain trust.
A brain trust.
Constantly learning and sharing knowledge.
Sharing knowledge.
And finally, networking helps them build a strong referral network.
Referrals are everything.
This means they're more likely to be recommended by other trusted professionals.
By other people you trust.
Which is a great sign for me as a potential client.
Absolutely.
It's like a seal of approval from their peers.
The stamp of approval.
Saying, this agent knows their stuff and they take good care of their clients.
This is a good one.
Right. Okay. So while networking might seem like an internal matter,
yeah, behind the scenes,
it actually has a ripple effect.
Ripple effect.
That benefits me as the consumer.
You, the client.
All right. I'm convinced networking is important.
It's important.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
A lot of ground.
We've talked about what makes a good agent, how to choose the right one, and how to navigate different situations.
Lots of good stuff.
What's the key takeaway for our listeners?
The ultimate goal is to empower you, the insurance consumer.
Empower me.
We want you to feel confident and informed when dealing with insurance agents and to make decisions that truly protect your interests.
So it's about taking all of this knowledge.
Take the knowledge.
And turning it into action.
Put it into action.
We're not just giving you information.
It's not just trivia.
Right. It's about giving me a toolkit.
A toolkit.
To navigate the complex world of insurance.
Yes. Complex world of insurance.
All right, so let's move on to the final part of this deep dive.
Part 3.
Where we'll distill all these insights into some practical tips.
Actionable takeaways.
And actionable takeaways.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it's time to put all of this knowledge to work.
Let's get practical.
We've gone really deep on what makes a good insurance agent tick.
All their secrets revealed.
But how does that actually help the average person?
That's the million-dollar question. This whole deep dive is about empowering you, the listener, to become a more savvy and confident insurance consumer.
So it's less about becoming an expert myself.
Right.
And more about knowing the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
The red flags to look out for.
Exactly.
Okay, so think of this as your insurance agent decoder ring.
Decoder ring.
We've given you the tools to translate their language, understand their motivations, and ultimately make choices that protect your best interests.
Protect yourself.
Okay, so let's get practical.
Let's get practical.
What's the first thing people should do? Armed with all this new knowledge.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
And I mean really grill those agents.
Okay.
A good agent welcomes your curiosity.
Okay.
It shows that you're engaged, that you're thinking critically.
So not just accepting whatever they tell me at face value.
No.
Digging deeper, even if I feel a little silly.
Oh.
Asking basic questions.
Especially the basic questions.
Okay.
If they can't explain it in a way you understand.
Okay.
Red flag.
Okay. Red flag.
A truly good agent takes pride in making the complex clear.
Okay, I'm taking notes. Ask questions. Don't be shy. What else?
Be proactive before you even contact an agent.
Okay.
Do your own research.
Oh, okay.
What are your needs?
Okay.
What's your budget?
Okay.
What's your comfort level with risk?
Okay.
Look up different types of insurance.
Okay.
Maybe compare some online quotes.
So I shouldn't go in blind just hoping the agent will figure it all out for me?
You can't just rely on them completely.
Right.
Do a little legwork yourself.
So the more prepared I am, the more meaningful those conversations will be.
Absolutely.
I'll ask better questions.
Better question.
I'll be less likely to be swayed by jargon or a slick sales pitch.
Less likely to be tricked.
Yeah, it's like the more I know, the less likely I am to be taken advantage of.
Knowledge is power.
And remember, you're in control here.
You're the one in the driver's seat.
You're not obligated to go with the first agent you speak to or accept the first policy they offer.
It's like dating.
Oh, okay. So shop around.
You got to shop around.
See what's out there.
See what's out there.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to interview multiple agents.
Okay.
Compare their approaches, their communication styles, their level of expertise.
And speaking of gut feeling, trust your instincts.
Trust your gut.
If something feels off, don't ignore it.
If that little voice in your head is saying, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Whether it's their demeanor, their sales tactics, or just a nagging feeling that they're not truly listening to me.
Not really hearing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't force it.
It's a long-term relationship, after all.
Yeah.
You want an agent that you feel comfortable with.
Someone you can trust.
Yeah, someone I can trust to have my back.
I have your back.
And finally, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. If you're not happy with the service. Yeah. If you have a concern or a complaint, speak up.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about finding a good agent.
Right.
It's about being a good client.
Being a good client.
Being proactive, communicative, and assertive when needed.
Two-way street.
A healthy client-agent relationship is a two-way street.
It is.
Built on mutual respect and open communication.
That's the key.
Wow. This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener.
I'm glad.
We've gone from feeling kind of intimidated by the insurance world to feeling empowered to take charge.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want you to feel empowered.
So as we wrap up, what's the one piece of advice you'd leave our listeners with?
Take action. Take action.
Don't just let this information sit in the back of your mind.
Okay.
Whether it's reviewing your current policies, doing some research, or scheduling a meeting with a new agent.
Okay.
Make a move towards securing your financial future.
Knowledge is power.
It is.
But only if you use it.
So go out there and be the insurance consumers you were always meant to be.
You got this.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.